Rebecca and I are here today with our Amplified Life, and we wanted to do something fun. Just have a conversation about how to bring joy into your closet. We know it can be a very frustrating thing for many people, even if you're cabbie addicts, because sometimes you stand there and you just aren't feeling it and you just can't find anything to go with it. Or maybe you thought you bought these fabulous pieces that you loved the evening that you put them on, and now you're home and you're just not feeling your best. So we wanted to have a conversation about this and let you know we understand the ebbs and flows of what it is to be a woman. And not every day is going to feel your best, but then you're going to have days that absolutely you are just rocking in that closet. You feel like $1,000,000. And so we want to help you sort of close the gap on those 2 days. We want you to feel good every day and have that self-confidence to walk out the door.
And I think that you've got to give yourself grace, because as you're working through things, you're figuring things out. You're figuring out what does actually bring you joy, what feels good on your body, what makes you feel amazing. And you've got to give yourself grace about the process, because it's not going to be an overnight thing. Amy and I can definitely help streamline it, but you do have to do some of the journey on your own as well.
Yeah. Well, and I think you have to remember too, every phase of life is different. So Rebecca and I can both attest to the times that we were in Wranglers and, maybe great big hair. And we look back and think, what in the hell were we thinking? But that is just part of being a woman and going through those things and figuring out what works now. And so we can both relate to you probably on different levels. As many of you know, some of you may not know, I have adult children as well as a young daughter. I'm in my mid-40s. My body has changed over the years. Even the way I exercise and the way I feel about myself has changed. One thing that I think has really helped me in the recent, probably the past 6 months, is understanding that my body is a gift. And knowing that my clothes are fitting a little different. That doesn't mean I'm giving up on exercise. It doesn't mean I'm giving up on how I've felt in the past. It just means instead of cussing myself out for that extra 5 to 10 pounds, I am now embracing the fact that my body has truly given me gifts of staying healthy. Excuse me. Leave it to me to.
He was downing a protein bar before we came
Yes.
on here. So,
but that being said, right, we have to remember the gift that our body is. Now, Rebecca has a different story and her body is going through different things. And there are days we have to just listen to our bodies. So how does that translate for you, Rebecca, in your closet now?
yeah. Well, first, I did want to give us a little shameless plug about another video that we did here a month or so ago. It's called Food, Fitness, and Mindset, or it's some variation of that. We'll link it in the description, but you want to watch that, especially if you are kind of going through a transition time. I can totally relate to the fact that my 45-year-old body is not the same as my 18-year-old body in looks nor ability, that's for certain. And it's something that I have to come to terms with. I feel like I've come to terms with it and then something happens and I've got to come to terms with it again. But I love, Amy, how you said that we just really need to love the body that we're in. And that's so true, because when we're coming at it from a loving perspective instead of a berating and belittling perspective, that just empowers us to be so much better. And I think one of the things for me that's really important is to always have clothes in my closet that feel good on my body. So I'm totally about, not having to change sizes all the time for sure. But if you're one that has experienced either weight gain or weight loss, you need to have some great fitting clothes. I think that's one of the things that when I work with clients, especially clients that are losing weight. So they don't want to make a lot of investment in their wardrobe when they know that they're going to not be in that size in a few months. And I completely get that. But, and I'm sure Amy, you can add in on this too, but I really recommend that you have at least one fantastic fitting jean that you can wear, and at least a fantastic fitting topper, because like a blazer or something, depending on how you usually dress. Being able to go to your closet and put something on your body that you feel amazing in is, there's just really nothing like it. And as you get to your goal weight or whatever the case may be, then you will have a closet full of pieces that you feel great in. But even in the process, don't sell yourself short and run around wearing baggy, schleppy looking clothes, because you're not going to feel good and you're really not honoring the process that you're going through and the work that you're putting into it. Because let's face it, it's work.
Well, and that being said, we also did a video on how to organize your clothes in your closet. And so that brings up another fabulous point. If you are on a weight loss journey, or you just are like, I've gone through something really emotional, maybe there's clothes that trigger an emotion and you're not quite ready to get rid of those. When we talk about organizing your closet, Rebecca and I both specifically talk about texture, fabrication, organizing those together. So if you have this weight loss journey that Rebecca's speaking of, maybe you want to put those clothes together, organized at the front of your closet, and sort of keep everything else to the back, so that when you walk in there, it's really easy for you to see, okay, I felt so good in this last time. This is something I want to keep and grab. For me, I always think about function first. I just do. If I am going to, and like Rebecca said, if you've got a really fabulous fitting blazer and jeans, you can go anywhere and be comfortable. But if that blazer is a little small even through your chest, through your back, and you go to drive, you're going to be tugging and pulling through your breasts to get the ladies covered up. It's just not going to look like you want to feel, and therefore you're not going to feel like you want to look. And so one thing I do advise my clients on is to remember their body type and their bone structure. 10 pounds one way or another, believe it or not, isn't always going to give you a whole size down in a jacket. It's not always going to make you go a size up in a jacket. Your shoulders are your shoulders are your shoulders. Now you may gain enough weight that maybe you need to go up a size. You might lose enough weight that maybe you need to go down a size. But if you're thinking 10, 15 pounds, where do we generally gain and lose that first? It's going to be our bust. It's going to be our hips. It might be our center. And so there are pieces that maybe you have in your closet as you're on this weight loss journey that you don't necessarily have to get rid of, but maybe you can cinch in the waist. Maybe you lost 10 pounds and instead of leaving it wide open, you want to button that button up or add a belt to it, define your waist. And so I really think it's important to understand your body type. And we've done videos on that. So we can't link them all. Definitely go back through our past playlists. We have some really great resources on here for you. We just really want to open your mind to the fact that you don't really have to get rid of everything at once, and you don't need to hang on to everything either. We can really kind of help you streamline that. But for me, if I'm in an emotional state, which I'm finding, I'm emotional. I'm just going to say it. Texture is the number one thing for me. If I am just not feeling my best, I am not going to put anything restrictive on. That doesn't mean I'm going to look like I just rolled out of bed either. So keep in mind there's soft suiting options. There are sweaters. There are what we call swazers, which are sweaters that look like a blazer that are a little more tailored. If you're familiar with the Cabby clothing brand, you know we have this incredible Ponte knit fabrication. So really it is about feeling first, and color can bring life into your mood. So Rebecca, you are, let me ask you this, because you are such a beautiful, warm toned person. And I know you love your yellows and your oranges and your bright reds. Tell me how that changes your mood the minute you walk into your closet, because I know we don't always feel our best when we get up in the morning. So what does it do for you when you actually walk in and grab that favorite top?
Yeah, it's an instant lift. It's rather incredible what a bust or mood lifter having those pieces that you truly love is. I guess case in point. So if I know I'm going to be on the farm, a lot of times I'll just grab one of Kevin's sweatshirts and throw that on with jeans and I'll get my farm work done. But I never really feel as great on those days, although I truly enjoy being outside, as when I grab something like this bright pop of tie-dye yellow, which I fully realize this top is not for everybody. But for me, I'm tactile and this is super soft. And so it feels fantastic on my body. It's in my absolute favorite color, yellow, which I'm lucky enough is something that also is a color that's good for me. And then this tie-dye just like brings it all together for me because it's just happy as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's really kind of a joyful thing for me is color and really knowing. I know that black, even on my best days when I am really tan, washes me out. So I've just kind of alleviated that completely from my closet, and it's not something that I use as a base neutral. I go towards like your navies or browns, things like that. And so figuring out what your colors are, and we have a really great training that's coming your way soon, and I'm kind of giving you a little insider. Hopefully Amy's not over there wanting to wring my neck, but we've got a course coming your way that has all of this information in it, that if you're like, okay, I don't know what my color is, I don't know what my body type is, I don't know what I really gravitate towards as far as a style profile, we got you covered, girlfriend.
Yeah, and it's really a deeper dive into everything that we kind of do a soft touch on with our amplified life. I have to apologize for standing up. I had my door open for air circulation. And now that I'm in this fabulous office, my family, they don't think about me working. So they're like pushing on the microwave and different things. And I was like, so I didn't want the background noise to be too distracting. So instead you got my ladies getting right up in the camera, and probably the fact that I'm still in I'm in my Zoom wear. So I'm in leggings from here up. So if you saw any of that.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, Amy. What is one item that you seem to gravitate towards, but when you add it to your closet, you don't ever wear? For me, it's lace. Anything with lace, while I love the look of it, it just hangs in my closet.
So definitely more, I would call it romantic style dressing. I have learned that I can do good wallpaper print florals and I can do a few things like that. But if you add floral to lace or anything too poofy, yeah, that is not me. I am more grit and, come on, I'm a country girl. I'm going to say it like it is. My style is like it is. I have learned that is just not my vibe. Now, have I learned to wear them? That's different than if you gravitate to them. And so I do have a few. If I do lace, it's got some denim with it because I'll ground it down with denim and lace. But if it's a big flowy dress that's all like micro florals, I'm probably more attracted to the idea of it than actually pulling it out and wearing it. So that would that would definitely be that qualifier. So I've learned how to utilize those pieces. I don't want my money to go to waste, but that would be it. So I think you and I have talked about that before, and we definitely agree with that. But that doesn't mean if you're a lace and romantic dresser, boho vibe, that we're dissing on you at all. We want you to embrace that. You own it better than anybody. And so that's something that's really important. Rebecca, I have a question for you, because I have really been thinking, and this is for those of you that are watching, you can think about this yourself. But I think a lot of times women think that shopping has this negative connotation to it. So I have a question for you. I want you to think about a day or a person or an event that happened in your life that stands out really strong, probably has an emotional tie to it. And I want you, you don't even have to tell me, just yes or no. Can you remember what you were wearing that day?
Oh, yes.
Do you mind sharing and why you remember?
Well, the thing that immediately came to mind was when Kevin and I got married. And so I'll make it a very abbreviated story here, but we cell phone dated for 2 months prior to getting married, and he proposed on the phone while I was out on the West Coast. And I was actually at my aunt and uncle's house. And my aunt and my cousin Scott went with me the next day after he proposed to pick out what I was going to wear to my wedding. And obviously it was a Vegas wedding, so it wasn't traditional, but I knew I wanted to wear a skirt and a blouse. So we went and we found this. And I guess when I'm looking, if I'm just thinking of one, that's what immediately came to mind. And I think it's a combination of, obviously, it's what I wore for my wedding, but then just spending that time with my family too.
But you also felt very beautiful and special, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was some joy there. And so I've been asking my clients to think about that. And I think it's a really important question to think about. We know when we feel good. It's an organic feeling. We know when we look our best. Of course,
Yeah.
emotion is tied to that. So,
Conversely, though, I think that as women, we may focus on when we feel really bad more than when we feel really amazing. I mean, I can see a lot of different closet come aparts coming back to me of when I felt really, really bad trying to get ready for something. And so I love that you are pointing out find the joy, and when did you feel really fantastic, and how did your clothing tie into that? Because that's an important shift in our brains to make.
Yeah. That has really been something I've been personally trying to focus on. And I wanted to share that because I do think it's an important thing to think about. I know I have a client that she actually has a tattoo of her grandmother's pearls. So she's always going to have a tender spot. I don't want to tear up. I don't know if Amber even watches this, but the day I met her, I asked her a question that was similar, and she said pearls will forever remind her of her grandmother. Now, my other grandmother, I remember her pink lipstick. It was always like back in the day, I thought it was like an obnoxious pink. Now it just like, I love it. And my other grandmother was 5 feet nothing and always overweight. She always tried to look her best, but she always had a fabulous bag and shoes. So when we think about what makes us feel good, that's actually a really important question. Is it a cardigan? Is it a sweater set? Is it something that's going to bring your confidence out? And I really think that was the point of this conversation, is just to make you in your closet intentionally think about what you love. If you love it and you don't know why you love it, we can probably help uncover that for you. If you love it, but don't love it on your body, like you love it, but every time you put it on, it just doesn't sit right. Maybe it just isn't right for your body type, and we can help you find something similar that you'll love just as much.
it might just need to be tailored. I mean, so
Yes.
often if you just make one little tweak to a garment, it changes everything. And if we're willing to invest that extra little bit into the garments that we love, it's crazy what a difference it makes.
Now, Rebecca, you are frozen on my screen. You're pulling a really great face. I can hear you. There you
Well,
go. Well, your voice didn't.
I'm sure knowing me, my face was absolutely crazy looking.
No, it was actually great. You know, that is one other thing that I think Rebecca and I will both advise our clients. If you buy something from us and you don't love it, return it. Because anything that we help you buy, we want you to wear and love, and we want it to bring you joy. If it does not, I always say when I'm at the rack or helping a client, if they're shifting and tugging and it's not a size issue, because often we have to kind of work with the sizes that we can provide for try on. If it's not that, I can tell immediately their energy changes, their face changes. I can tell when they're struggling with that. That's part of my job as a personal stylist, to read your comfort level. And I may just say, you know what? This doesn't seem like the piece for you. And that's okay. I would rather find a piece that you're going to actually light up in. And that happens almost immediately to everyone. The minute they get it on, they feel it first, they see it second. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I always tell my ladies, I am not here to insulate your closet. So what you get tonight, you need to love 300%, not just like, you need to love it, because we do. It's more of an investment when you shop with us, and absolutely it's worth every penny, but you have to love it, and it needs to look and feel amazing on you.
Yeah. Well, I just love these conversations, and we hope truly that they bring some value to you in your life, and it helps put intention into the things that you shop for, that you buy for. Maybe it'll even put thoughts into your mind of, you know, I never thought about it like that. Maybe, you know, I have a client that I was speaking with last night, and she's like, I just have a shopping addiction. I said, well, not really, but there is a difference between buying things just to buy because they might be on sale, right? And buying things that actually make you feel your best. So if you can decipher between the two, and I've actually had clients think about that, and I had a client say, you know what, I went into this store where I usually buy like a bunch of things, and I thought, no, I don't need this. And she waited because she knew she wanted a Serenity tea that was coming up. And that Serenity tea was the price of two cheaper ones, but she knew those cheaper ones would sit in her closet. So again, it's that idea of price per wear, the quality over time. I even think ethics and standards in the sourcing of the clothes can really mean a lot. If you know you're doing good when you're shopping, it doesn't have that negative connotation to it as well. So oftentimes, I mean, I'll be the first to admit, I love my Amazon, but I also really look into the people, the companies that I want to support, the brands of shoes that don't hurt my feet. And those are where I will spend my money.
Yeah, I think that that's an entire conversation in and of itself, that ethically sourced and doing good. And yeah, we're going to have that conversation coming up.
Maybe that can
So
be part
stay
2.
tuned. Yeah, stay tuned. But as you know, we have a lineup of bingeable content here for you. We've been at this for a few years now, I think. And it's just, yeah, we show up every week here for you, and we try to make the topics very timely, but they're also very relevant looking back as well. You're going to get super fun little tips and tricks that you can implement in your own life and wardrobe. And absolutely check out the previous videos. Even if you are one of our Cabby Clothing clients and you want to see what's fresh and hot and new for this season, fantastic. But if you look back, it's going to help you see how to really play with the clothes that are in your closet already. And if you're just starting your cabbie wardrobe, then know that you can just take any of these hints and tips that we're sharing and make them work for the clothes that are in your closet. So you see us talking a lot about white jeans or cropped pants or a nice slim cardigan. You know, all of those things are hanging out in your closet already. And just because they're not cabbie doesn't mean you can't implement what we're sharing. So we love that you show up here for us each and every week. Please leave in the comments some things that bring joy to your closet and even to your life. We love to read your comments. We love to get your texts. It enriches both of our lives so very much. And as always, we are on Instagram. I'm Styled by R, and Amy is Street Style by Amy. So join us there and yeah, share with us, be part of our girl gang, and we're just glad that you're here.